my life. And today I'm gonna practice English test. So let's get started, okay? Perfect. Next. In this lecture, the speaker talks about in this lecture, the speaker talks about according. The following picture shows information about ABCDFG. According to the picture, according to the picture, we can see that the largest number is ABCDFG. According to the picture, we can see that the following picture shows information about ABCDFG. According to the picture, we can see that the largest number is ABCDFG. According to the picture, we can see that the second largest number is ABCDFG. According to the picture, we can see that the smallest number is ABCDFG. According to the picture, we can see that the ABCDFG is higher than ABCDFG. In conclusion, this picture is very informative. Two sisters were at a dinner party. Two sisters were at a dinner party when the conversation turned to upbringing. Two sisters were at a dinner party when the conversation turned to upbringing. Two sisters were at a dinner party when the conversation turned to upbringing. The Japanese tea ceremony is too influenced by Buddhism, in which green tea is prepared and served. To a small group. The Japanese tea ceremony is the tutor influenced by Buddhism, in which green tea is prepared and served to a small group. The Japanese tea ceremony is the tutor influenced by Buddhism, in which green tea is prepared and served to a small group. This book is no ordinary book, and should not be read through from the beginning to end. This book is no ordinary book, and should not be read through from beginning to end. This book is no ordinary book, and should not be read through from beginning to end. Long isolated from Western Europe, Russia grew up without participating in the development. Long isolated from Western Europe. Russia grew up without participating without participating in the development. Long isolated from Western Europe, Russia grew up without participating in the development. The uniquely scented flavor. The uniquely scented flavor of vanilla is second only to chocolate in popularity on the world's plate. The uniquely scented flavor of vanilla is second. The uniquely scented flavor of vanilla is second only to chocolate in popularity on the world's palate. Exhilarating, exhausting, and intense. Exhilarating, exhausting, and intense. They are just some of the words used to be described during an MBA. Exhilarating, exhausting, and intense. They are just some of the words used to describe during an MBA. Exhilarating, exhausted, and intense. They are just some of the words used to be described during an MBA. During an MBA.
A man who suffered serious brain damage during an operation is suing the hospital.
Suffered brain damage on the operational is suing the hospital.
We can discuss education in the tutorial next week.
We can discuss in the tutorial next week.
The website has probably the most attractive layout.
The website has probably the most attractive layout.
The university policy on plagiarism can be viewed on the website.
The university policy on plagiarism can be viewed on the website.
Remember, your essay should be less than 2,000 words.
Remember, your essay will be less than 2,000 words.
Please make an appointment with your tutor about your work.
Please make an appointment with the tutor about your work. Please make an appointment with the tutor about the work.
Several students raised different examples.
Several students raised different examples.
Read the safety instructions before using the equipment during the workshop.
Read the equipment before the work placement.
If you forget your password, you need to contact the Student Center.
If you forget your student passport, you should contact the student center.
Most of the assignments should be submitted on the same day.
Most of the assignments should be submitted on the same day. Expenditure. Paid expenditure. The following picture talks about paid expenditure in US. According to the picture, we can see the largest natural number is the 41%. According to the picture, we can see that the second largest number is the 47%. According to the picture, we can see that the smallest number is the 10%. According to the picture, we can see that food and later is higher than vet care and well-being. In conclusion, this picture is very informative. Oxidation, oxygen, sounds margin, acid-forming gases. The following picture shows information about acid rain. According to the picture, we can see that the largest number is the oxidation. According to the picture, we can see that the second largest number is the sun's energy. According to the picture, we can see that the smallest number is the system. According to the picture, we can see that the human is higher than the velocity of impact. In conclusion, this picture is very interesting. This picture is very interesting. Computer. Then and now, we can see the screen, we can see mouse, we can see keyboard. So, wire. The following picture shows information about computers then and now. According to the picture, we can show that the largest number is the screen. According to the picture, we can see that the second largest number is the mouse. According to the picture, we can see that the smallest number is the key. According to the picture, we can see that the green is higher than the blue. In conclusion, this picture is very interesting.
So, what do we mean by well-being? Health, happiness, a sense of achievement and contentment, a state of mind and body where people can thrive. Well-being is not something that is purely limited to people who are facing extraordinary challenges in their lifestyle, health, or personal circumstances. Everybody here has a level of well-being. Music so often forms an intuitive part of our well-being management. Music to pick us up, music to calm us down, music to heal our sorrows. Our aim, through research, is to move from this level of intuitive application of music through to informed use in our communities, to take the next step in the understanding of the power of music in human life. Music already works for us on so many levels, whether it's soothing and teaching our infants, bringing people and communities together, adding spirit to our work and personal endeavors. But there is no reason to stop here.
In this lecture, the speaker talks about the well-being. According to the speaker, she mentions about health and happiness. According to the picture, she mentions about the senses and challenge and power. According to the speaker, she mentions about the levels of being. According to the speaker, she mentions about teaching and music. According to the speaker, she mentions about pickup and community. In conclusion, this lecture is very interesting.
What do we call a person getting a higher position in a company?
Supervisor, manager.
How could you call the place where someone is in the jail?
In the jail, a police.
What does submediterranean mean?
What does serenium mean?
What is the job whose job is working on the boat?
Sailor.
What kind of organ on our face to make us breathe?
Face green. Oh, I know the E. O and Z. 我爱你啊，吴雨洁，我好喜欢你。 Sorry, I just found I have some problem with that. It's alright. Continue studying. For the past 30 years, the United States has been no was been was content had been the chef nation come some standard. To define a limit not defined of more than 1,000 base patients worldwide. Native area belong I do not think I'm twisting the usual meaning of drama. Yes. Fuck. I don't know. 10. It's so simple that point out, rolled up, stayed out. I don't know, rolled up. I mean this. The said performer take the broad leaves. The possibility they are not within a row. Leaves covered. Doubtful. Undoubtable. Maybe. The said perform. I think. Uneven. Appear successfully. Who direct. Hillman and mother. Right about. The words about the breastfeeding. Pastor have found her intelligent. By using population birth. Have been effect been formed. Think reformed. Vision. External triangle three. The function external. There's little quantitative or say mission purpose. Post. Read neuration cycle. New habit. Species. Filter. purple provides well, exactly why. That's really hard. What are the characteristics of aberration? Two parties settle. Third parties agreement near strict result. Third party arbitration. Basic large. The first is that no process to party under which parties can completely agree between themselves. Second is their subject and parties. Elements of both behavioral theories are personality, relevant, neurobeginnt, gap, bridge the gap, but still plan without understanding personality. How can we begin? Risk takers, and we won't be able to performance. A traditional say the best way to I don't know, increase little value, little process. I don't know. Take up a lot of time. Great number of companies decide if later value it. When our skin is directly exposure exposed turning exposed to not help us maybe build strong bond. Absorption with attraction. With absorption. Maybe. And according like let us estimate some explosion the body can produce the in just the amount of time it takes for skin to turn pink. Okay, many has been dreamed up through the age. Old peers. Serious thinker have live in peace and drink. No, invasion, maybe. Yeah, invasion. Nobody without essential life. Another thing they have in is that to appear just perform in dream. Then they have in common including stray white, architect of a perfect city. Delay no peace change horizon. No. Dreams side maybe. Made up numerous individuals and here's no simple function and is the environment in related in ingredient relation. Goods and service will be not will be exchanged. The process of live submission paper mean intended address the problem. The outline present paper. Where's the submission of papers? Page.
So faults are breaks in the Earth crust. We can identify them because of the discontinuity in the structure within the Earth crust across fault. An earthquake occurs on these faults. So very processes by which these faults moves to a large extent is due to earthquakes. So we have a fault plane and the earthquake is so focused on this fault plane and the earthquake starts at the particular point on the fault plane and we call that the focus of the earthquake. The rock prorogate out from that point on the rupture plane to cover the entire fault plane. The rupture is in that particular earthquake. we talked about the epicenter of the earthquake a lot. The epicenter is just the surface projection of the focus of the earthquake. So if you wanted to look at map view where the earthquake was located, we would be able to look that into the earth. We would see the focus down some depth in the earth or the epicenter, just a point vertically above that focus at the surface of the earth. So this is the focus between the faults and the earthquakes.
Earthquake. 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 How to write earthquake? Fuck. It's alright. Firstly, instruction. Our instructions are affected by process. Process which can be related to planned can lead implicit. Fuck. Full plan. View can What a right instruction process. Now a right wrong.
Conduct disorder in children is very serious. It's a disorder of childhood and adolescence that is long-term, that's chronic, where children have very aggressive impulses, where children are involved in difficulties with the law and really seem to have no disregard for the rules or for authority. When children have conduct disorder, they're definitely at risk of carrying these difficulties into adulthood, which also brings about a myriad of different problems. Children with conduct disorder often have difficulties in schools, have difficulty with relationships, and have difficulty with employment and lifelong, long-term relationships. It's important to recognize that if your child is not doing well in school, if your child has had difficulties where legal action was necessary, if your child is bullying, getting into fights, and this is constant and ongoing, if your child does not get help, these complexities will really exacerbate into other major difficulties. Look for signs of your child's grades dropping, look for signs of repeated detentions, suspensions, and brushes with the law. Parents, please recognize that if your child has signs of conduct disorder, the sooner you get help, the sooner your child can start to learn more adaptive behaviors.
The earlier chocolate was quite unpalatable. They used to add things to it to make it more palatable, so for the early chocolate, they didn't know how to extract all the cocoa fat from it. So it was, or could be quite greasy, and if you made it as a drink, you'd have this sort of scum on the top. So they used to try and add things to it, like starch and things, to make it a more palatable product. So there were a lot of, or scandals around the kind of things they were adding to chocolate in the 19th century. So, by the sort of 1870s, 1880s, there are people like Cadbury's saying, our chocolate is absolutely pure. We have this new process, the Van Houten process, which now extracts all this horrible fat that we can use to make eating chocolate. Now we have a pure product.
Cocoa fat. Cocoa. You see, starch, starches, chicken, lead-in time.
Lead-in time is the amount of time that elapses between a business placing an order with a supplier for more stock or raw materials and the delivery of the goods to the business. Businesses want the lead time to be as short as possible so that they can meet their customers' orders and minimize the time between paying for the stock and receiving the feedback from the customer. However, this may not happen due to a number of factors, such as delays in the supplier receiving the order or the breakdown of the supplier's lorries delivering the stock to the business.
So this is one picture that probably you all know what it is when you see it. It's a familiar looking image. It's something that probably we all have some personal experience with, right? This is a chest X-ray that would be taken in your doctor's office, for example, or a radiologist's office. And it is a good example of biomedical engineering in that it takes a physical principle, that is, how do X-rays interact with the tissues of your body, and it uses that physics, that physical principle, to develop a picture of what's inside your body. So to look inside and see things that you couldn't see without this device. And you'll recognize some of the parts of the image. You can see the rib cage here, the bones. You can see the heart is this large, bright object down here. If you're have good eyesight from the distance that you're at, you can see the vessels leading out of the heart and into the lungs, and the lungs are these darker spaces within the rib cage. And
the dolphin produces a very narrow, intense, loud beam of sound. And this is really good if you're trying to detect a fish that's at a really far distance, because it gives you a very strong echo coming back to that dolphin. But if I'm a fish and the dolphin is getting closer to me, and I want to suddenly try to escape the dolphin, I can move out of the beam of that narrow sound, and suddenly the dolphin can't see me with its sound. So what does the dolphin do? Well, the dolphin can actually change. It can widen its beam of sound as it gets closer and closer to the fish, so that no matter where I'm moving, if I'm trying to escape the dolphin can still see me with its sound. So this is how the dolphin is changing its sound, much like how bats can change their sounds as well.
Because of this concept of plasticity, there have been a lot of claims that you can change the brain and make people smarter. You can actually increase intelligence. That experience changes the brain. The brain is plastic, so why not make people smarter? And one of the first examples of this was 1993, when a group published a paper claiming an increase in IQ after listening to a particular piece of music. You recognize this Mozart sonata? Listen to this for a few seconds. Do you feel smarter? Anybody else feel smarter? So this really took the scientific world and the public by storm, that you could become smarter, higher IQ, just by listening to Mozart. At the time, in 1993, the governor of Georgia heard about this and got their state legislature to appropriate money to buy Mozart CDs to give to every mother of a newborn baby in the state of Georgia. So here we are some years later. IQ has not changed. This is now referred to as the Schmozart effect, because in fact, it really couldn't be replicated. But it took years. Every high school science fair I went to when my kids were growing up had a Mozart experiment. And I'm sure these were all over the country. But in truth, it didn't work. But it was an example of brain.
Nearly 100 years ago, the famous aviators Anne and Charles Lindbergh flew over some of the same swaths of jungle, taking photographs from the sky, partly in hopes of aiding archaeologists.
It was very early appreciated that under the jungle canopy, there was a lot to see. But if we could only see through the jungle canopy.
Now we can, and it's a foundation, Canuto says, for an entirely new era in archaeology.
The general public, if you look at the broad numbers, It's like 60% of the vineyards around the world in the New World have been planted with just 5 or 6 varieties of grapes in the last 10 or 20 years, from the Australians to New Zealand to, of course, all of California.
Science journalist Kevin Begos, the author of the new book, Tasting the Past, The Science of Flavor and the Search for the Origins of Wine. He spoke in June at Astor Wines and Spirits in Manhattan. At one point, he talked about disease threats to wine grapes.
So the scientists are starting to get really concerned that this is setting up a perfect scenario for a grape pandemic, which would seem a little far-fetched, except we all know that grapes are being reproduced by cuttings, not by seed, to keep the flavor qualities. What that means is they haven't been evolving for hundreds or thousands of years. Pinot is 2,000 years old, which is kind of the general estimate.
Plants are living things that are growing on land or in water. There is a clear need for further research in this field.
There's a clear need that
She has made a significant contribution to the field of chemistry.
The site is designed to be highly interactive.
The sign is fuck.